Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before we get started, I want to just share with you quickly, this is winter, at least over here in the United States, Europe, etc. And it is that time of the year where cold and flu season abounds. That means that we are more susceptible to catching a cold, a virus, or whatever it may be when we travel or just in our everyday affairs. So what I want to share with you is exactly what I do. Besides my daily foundational protocol, I keep my health where it needs to be, even with me traveling on airplanes twice a month, by simply taking some alkalizing vitamin C on a daily basis, liquid vitamin D, and the balanced zinc. I use this every single day. It's simple to do. It helps to boost a healthy immune system. And I just add one additional product to that called the Hist Pro. You don't need to use that product if you don't have a history of allergies or mast cell activation syndrome or mastocytosis or asthma or any of these histamine-based issues like hives. But for me, since that's a part of my genetics, I use that every single day. It's easy. It's one capsule at breakfast, one at dinner, or one at lunch, or one at dinner. It's up to you. But what I wanted to do was simply share what I do to keep myself healthy. I do the same for my family and use it in my practice. And if you've never used these products before, if you've never participated in the immunity protocol, head on over to stevencabral.com/shop and you can take 30% off this week while supplies last to test it out on us. Again, head on over, take 30% off by going to stevencabral.com/shop. Now, enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining me here today on our Friday review of the week here on the Cabral Concept. Today is episode 2541. You're going to want to head on over to stevencabral.com/2541 for all of the takeaways. Plus, we're going to be going over the research studies of the day. Definitely want to tune into that. A brand new product review. I'll be talking about this new smartwatch right here. One of the reasons why I picked it up, and I decided to use it over something like the Apple Watch that I've used in the past. We'll be going over that, plus a book review of the week, something that I bought both of my daughters to start the new year. Why you may, if you have children or even for yourself, check out this product and overall the company in general. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever, but I think they're doing a lot of good in the world, and I like to share those companies with others. So before we get started with all of those amazing things that I love to use in my own life, I want to get into our updates of the week. Today, as this show is being published, it is January 20th. And to me, it's like, wow, we're already flying through 3 weeks of the beginning of the new year. Now, the 7-day functional medicine detox for those who participated and started on January 9th ended as of just this past Monday morning, we'll say. And for a lot of people, they're on to their second week. So we're still there to support, congratulate, cheer on anyone who's doing the 21-day functional medicine detox or all of the people that will be doing the 7-day anytime during the month of January. And what I want to share with you is that support is always free. We are literally always there for you, my team and I, and you can find that at cabralsupportgroup.com. Cabralsupportgroup.com, over 20,000 amazing people from all around the world that have gathered there organically. No one forced them to, nobody even promoted it, but they're all there to basically ask questions, get answers, and also help support others there in the community. So definitely check that out. It's been a great start to the year. It has definitely been my busiest start to the year. I will be traveling. I'll be traveling in just the next week or so, and the travel season has started for me. And so that's also one of the reasons why I got this watch. We'll be talking about that. But what I need to do is I need to make sure that I'm keeping my body super healthy while I'm traveling twice a month for the next, I'm looking at my calendar right now, 6 months. I already have scheduled through June. And then after that, I hope to be in Maine, hopefully, and the travel will be over for at least a couple months. But that is my travel schedule. I'm back. Everyone always said, during the pandemic, they're like, I realized that I really enjoy not traveling as much. I enjoy staying home, being with the family, and that's absolutely true for me. But it's funny, after we stopped being locked down and travel started back up again, that there is something, and that is just irreplaceable, of meeting people in person. And so when I have the opportunity to do, a big podcast interview or a big speaking event, which I'll be doing once a month now, I can look at my calendar right now through June, and then sometimes I just have meetings, etc. I'm going to take that opportunity, and I have a plan with my family that I'm never gone for more than 3 total days, and that's it. And so that is it. And so I'm looking forward to that, but I'll be taking my immune products, that is for sure, to make sure when I end up at an event and I am speaking that I don't have, the sniffles or anything like that as well. So that is the season that we're in right now. And also, if you go on over to Equalife, you will find that we are giving you 30% off all immune-based products in order to stock up yourself, for your family, your loved ones, on subscriptions as well. So definitely check that out. It's all the products that I use myself. The alkalizing vitamin C. You'll see the full spectrum vitamin C there. You'll see the balanced zinc. You'll see the vitamin D. And you'll even see, I asked my team to do this. I asked them to add the His Pro. So even though it is immune-based, because it helps with cytokines, healthy levels of cytokines, healthy levels of histamines, but it's a product that I use every day. So I'm a huge advocate of the product. I take 2 capsules every day. And then during the spring season, I end up taking 2 to 6 capsules every day, just based on the amount of pollen in the air. It's a game-changing product for me. It's one of my favorite products that I've ever formulated. And you didn't hear it here first, but you may have, that you look for an even upgraded formula in a couple months. But that product is one that I use right now, literally to this day, and I've been using it for, I don't even know, it's probably been like 7 years or so. So all of those are 30% off this week only while supplies last. Head on over to stevencabral.com/shop. Stock up on all your immune essentials, your sinus support, your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your His Pro, your zinc, etc. All right, check that out. Podcast recap of the week. This was a big week for podcast recordings. This episode 2537 is don't hurt yourself in helping others. So this was a strong episode. A lot of kind of mixed emotions whenever I do these Mindset and Motivation Mondays, because it's like I always want to tell people what I believe and what I've seen, because we've worked with over 250,000 people, and so sometimes I have to share things that at first listen, they seem maybe even counterproductive. They maybe seem a little cold, but I'm telling you right now, if you sit with it for a little while, if you go for a walk with the thought, if you meditate on it, you'll see where I'm coming from. And then you'll be able to hopefully integrate it into your own life. So definitely check that out. But really, really important as you're setting your goals and you're implementing your goals, that you're not harming yourself in the process. And believe it or not, a lot of people are subconsciously. All right, on Tuesday's show, episode 2538, the anti-anxiety and depression nutrients. So please do check out this show. If you know anybody who suffers from low mood, anxiety, even PTSD, depression, you're going to want to check out. I literally go with you, walk you through, if you want to watch this one on video, the charts and the graphs and exactly what you need in order to produce the happy, feel-good neurotransmitter, serotonin, naturally, and GABA, the natural anti-anxiety neurotransmitter. All right, episode 2539, we went over the 5 reasons not to go low carb this year. Please do check out that show so that you do not harm your metabolism in the long run. And then Thursday's show, which was yesterday, the restless mind and ADHD diet. This is clinical research taken from a previous Friday Review study that I've been getting a lot of questions on. And I went through that. I gave you a theory and hypothesis towards the end of the show of how to potentially even make it even better. And if anyone ever wants to fund that study, I would love to do that. All right. So that is that. That's our podcast recap of the week. You can always find all previous podcasts, all 2,541 of them, at stevencabral.com/podcasts. All right. Now, product review of the week. It is, and I'll take it off my wrist right here, and I'll show if you're watching on video. It's, again, if you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you. We love your subscribes to the show. Feel free to leave a comment below. Let us know where you're listening in from. And, of course, any recommendations for future shows. But this watch right here, really, really interesting. It's called the Garmin Fenix 7. So it's their latest watch by Garmin. I've known about it for quite a while. A friend and colleague, Dr. Jay Wiles, I was chatting with him at the IHP Live event. He had one on. I'm like, what do you think? Should I make the jump? Should I get it? I don't want to wear my Apple Watch anymore, even though the Apple Watch is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. The Apple Watch is a very motivating tool. And I can link up my review of the Apple Watch at stephencabral.com/2541 today. But I stopped wearing it. And I stopped wearing the Apple Watch because I didn't want the messages. I didn't want the texts. I didn't want the notifications. I didn't want any of those things. And yes, I would put it on airplane mode and all that. But then if I did that, what I was left with was a okay watch at HRV, an okay watch at blood pressure, a good, very motivating watch though at steps and activity and like breath work per day. So I love that. It was a very motivating tool, and I actually don't think that anybody does it better right now than Apple Watch. To see those rings close every day is phenomenal. Very motivating. I would wear the watch just for that if I needed that motivation to kind of get me into doing those things on a daily basis. But if you are someone that wants to really track activity at a much greater level, far more in depth for training and exercise and running and triathlons, there's no watch in the world that does it better than the Garmin Fenix 7. This is a solar-powered watch that only needs to be charged about once a week, where the Apple Watch needs to be charged every day. So again, I'm not an affiliate for this watch. I don't have any affiliation with the company, but I bring you the best products. That's the truth. And not everybody's going to purchase this watch. So don't get me wrong. This was like a Christmas gift from me to me, and it is an expensive watch. It's probably around $800. But what this watch also, for me, when I put it on my wrist, I say, okay, I'm going to get my steps in. Every morning, because I've been doing my morning walk. So essentially what I do is I actually do a call now with 1 or 2 team members starting at 8 a.m. every morning. I talk to my team bright and early. I get them up and I say, let's get on the phone, let's walk and talk. And so it's very healthy. And so I talk for an hour on the phone, typically a half hour for 2 different team members. And in that time, I'm getting around 4,500 to 5,000 steps minimum. And I can track that right on my watch. So right now I'm at 5,071 steps, and that's just from this morning's walk, and that was about 50 minutes. So that makes sense. It's about 1,000 steps every 10 minutes. And so that's now just sitting on my display. And then it also tells me the time and the date. It tells me the high and low for the temperature for today. It tells me the sunset and sunrise for the day. It tells me my heart rate at all times. That's one of the reasons why I really enjoy this watch too, is I know how stressed or not stressed I am. So for example, I was wearing this on like New Year's Eve, and we were having all sorts of delicious cheat foods, and I barely ever drink alcohol anymore. Like if I drink alcohol once a month now, it's a very special occasion. But I had a little bit on New Year's Eve, and you can see my resting heart rate while seated, just relaxing, was in like high 80s, which is like 20 plus beats more than it is when I'm seated. And so you can actually just see kind of like, am I in a stressful environment or not in a stressful environment? Plus when I'm training, when I'm doing my bike riding, my biking, I'll be talking a lot more about that in just another month or so. It talks about that too. So the thing is, you can set your watch face for anything you'd like. You can do it based on triathlon training, running, weight training, heart rate. It takes your heart rate variability overnight. I wish it did it in real time, but it doesn't seem to. I'm gonna ask my buddy Jay again if he knows how to take it in real time, but unless you just sit still, press the button, it'll do that. But I'm looking for one that's there all the time. The Hanu device is a great device for that. I'll be going through a full review on that in just a couple of weeks. So that's that, but I'm telling you right now, if you're into athletics, fitness, training, and you're looking for a step up from the Apple Watch that does blood pressure, that does oxygen overnight, all those things, and you even want to wear it, fantastic device. So it's the best wearable watch that I know of. And then, yes, I still do wear the Aura, and this is the best overnight sleep tracker that I know of. So that's that. I wore my Garmin Fenix Hair to bed for like a week just to track the HRV versus the Aura, and it's like I thought, the further you get away from your heart, the lower your HRV shows up. So I just know that if I go from a chest strap to basically this Aura, it's like 50% of what it typically is. And then if I'm on my watch, it's like, well, maybe like 75% on my wrist. So again, the further you get away, the weaker the signal for your heart rate variability. And that's fine, but as long as if you use the same device and you measure against the same device, you're gonna be totally fine. So do you need to wear multiple wearables like I do? No, you don't need to. But if you're really, into the high performance health thing and you're trying to push yourself to that next level and kind of keep yourself motivated for like, what's the next thing? It is a great device. So I'm gonna link up the exact one I got. I decided to go with the white blue sapphire one. That's what it's called. And I'll link it up at stephencabral.com/2541, along with all my other resources at stephencabral.com/resources. All right, book review of the week. And please do feel free to ask me if you have any questions on it. All right, so I was excited this year. My girls are 8 and 10 years old, and I've been talking to them about kind of goal setting just loosely over the last couple years, and visualization and doing and having anything that they want in life, and just also telling them, though, that there is going to be work involved with whatever it is that you want to create in your life. And so it starts in the mind, but then you actually have to create that in this three-dimensional reality that we're in. And so when I bought them the Big Life Journal before. I've spoken of that before. I'll link that up, and I'll even link up the product review at stephencabral.com/2541. But they came up with a new goal planner, and it's called My 2023 Journey. And I'm sure they'll do this every year. This folder is not included. They just give you the digital PDF. But what they do is they've designed a beautiful, it's how many pages? About 40 pages or so? Yeah, somewhere around 35 pages or so. But I bought a couple of the bonuses as well. The bonuses were like challenges book and all sorts of great things that come along with it. And even though my daughters are 8 and 10 years old, I actually went with the older kids one, like the 10 years and up goal setting, because I've been talking about these things for a while with them. And the questions are just phrased differently for the older kids, that's all. So they give you examples. You're actually able to go through it on video. I'll link up the exact one. But this is my daughter's right here. And I don't want to give away all her private stuff, but basically it says, thank you 2022. In 22, I turned 8 years old, and I love this age because I can finally, and then it says, I learned how to, I practiced, now I can, this is the year when and then one happy memory from 2022. So basically you're filling in all these things. And what it does is it gets them, and adults, by the way, we should be doing this as well. So you can absolutely use this for adults. But it's really great book, and then it's beautifully designed. It says things I don't want to bring from 2022. And so it's 5 things that she doesn't want to bring with her. And so she'll write down her 5 things, which she did. And if my 2022 was and then just goes through, like, if it had a color, it would be this. If it had a mood, it would be this. If it had a song. So it gets them to use their 5 senses. Really, really nice. In 2022, I was grateful for a person, an adventure, an activity, a new experience, a new skill, and then gratitude. And then looking ahead to 2023, and it goes through my current favorites, books and songs and games. And then it says what I think. I am happiest when I am proud that when I get angry or sad, this is what makes me feel better. What matters most in my life is, I really hope that one unhelpful thought I have often. And then she writes, and this makes me so proud, by the way, she fills in all these great things, and she writes in one helpful thought I have often, and she wrote, ignore. And so because I've taught her that as repetitive thoughts, because we all have these thoughts in our head come into our head, we say stop or ignore or whatever it might be. Now, but I've also taught her at the same time that it's there sometimes to teach you something. But we all know that we have these thoughts that are not serving us. And so that one made me proud. Anyway, so it's a great book. And it says 5 reasons to be excited about 2023, 3 wishes I have for 2023. My crystal ball is things I want to learn, places I want to go, projects I want to work on. Really, really nice. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it sets up, your goals, what you're doing, and it's just a great way to instill these things in children of any age. And I let them do it on their own. because I didn't want to influence what they would write. And I just said, listen, if you want to show it to me when you're done, you're welcome to. If not, this is your private journal. And so, again, I'm just, this is just one of those things I think back and I say to myself, yes, it takes work. Yes, it's something that we have to do. We have to print. We have to put these things together. But I made it a big thing. I said, hey, let's go to Walgreens or CVS. Let's buy some binders. Let's print these things out. And the thing is, you'll never regret doing things like this. You'll literally, as a parent, never regret it. Even if it's like awkward in the moment or it's weird, I've never done this before, you'll never regret it. You'll regret not doing it, right? So that's why I try to do these things just to the best of my ability. And I'm always trying to be better. That's the bottom line. So I'll link that up today. I think they're fantastic. Really love it. Love the company. I was thinking about creating my own, to be honest with you. And this company just does such a great job. So I'm like, I don't need to create one more thing. Let's give some kudos to this company. All right. Research for the week. This one was an interesting one because I get a lot of Cabral HouseCall questions on yeast infections, gut-based issues, bacterial vaginosis, reoccurring, UTIs, etc. And I always talk about how the digestive system influences a woman's vaginal bacteria. So you have to understand that when you look at like the small intestine, it's meant to be, it's not sterile, okay, it's not. It's actually full though of bacteria that is a much lower pH. And so it keeps it more sterile, it keeps it cleaner because the pH is a little bit more acidic. And so it's not gonna allow as much to grow there. And vaginal flora should actually be a little bit more acidic. And what happens is when vaginal flora becomes a little bit more alkaline, like after sexual intercourse or using antibacterial soaps or anything like that, what can happen is you actually get a little bit more alkaline environment and it allows for bacterial vaginosis. It can allow for yeast infections as well. So we work on gut-based health, which shares a lot of the bacteria with the vaginal flora, but there are other factors as well. And so one research I wanted to bring you, which is, I believe, Frontier's Journal, and the synopsis that they gave, and I'm going to, of course, link up the full research if you want to check it out, but vitamin D deficiency increases the risk of bacterial vaginosis, especially during pregnancy as well. So this is based on a meta-analysis of many observational-based studies, and it found it was most common in a change in pregnancy, but also keep in mind that the vaginal flora also changes, right? The bacteria also changes during pregnancy. Very, very important. But a vitamin D deficiency increases that to a greater degree. So when I'm talking about vitamin D for overall health, that means literally the entire body. We're talking about gut balance. We're talking about cholesterol balance, so lipids. We're talking about thyroid. We're talking about digestion, and we're talking about bacterial vaginosis. So really important. Again, vitamin D should not be overlooked. It's like omega-3s. You cannot overlook these two. It's just they're simple to use, but you just have to use the right type and the right dosage. So for vitamin D, most people need about 2,000 to 4,000 IUs as adults per day. I'm not going to go into the high mega dosage, which I don't recommend. But easy to get. Vitamin D3, you want to look for that. You want to take it with a meal. You ideally want it in something like an MCT oil, but it's very simple. And the new labeling is typically 50 to 100 micrograms per day. And then omega-3 is usually a 2-to-1 ratio of EPA to DHA in the back, about a gram or 2 grams per day of those omega-3s. But I just wanted to share that with you. I think the research is important enough to be able to go through that. But this is also one more thing that will help women who are having issues with whether it's a urinary tract or yeast infection or bacterial vaginosis, is to go beyond gut health, although that is the number one place to look, and then actually look at vitamin D as well. So simply wanted to share that with you here today. I had one more research study, but it's going to be quite in depth as I go through it. And so I am going to save it for next week. I do want you to continue hopefully tuning in each and every week. And the goal, I believe, with the Cabral concept is to always be learning, always be growing, be the perpetual student, and really take this journey together. I mean, my goal is I read every day. I'm literally reading every day. If you could see my books, I have a stack of books. There's probably 9 books on my desk right now. This is my January reading. But I'm also reading research each and every day. And all I do is try to bring you just the studies that I believe are going to help the most amount of people, but that actually have real world action behind it. So I could bring you a study that said, oh, bacterial vaginosis seems to get worse in pregnancy, or this, that, and the other thing. Okay, but if there's no action step, what's the point? So I'm not here to bring fear. I'm not here to bring any worry about anything in particular, but just the understanding that there's always a reason why. There's always a reason why we're not feeling well mentally, physically, emotionally, etc. And if there's always a reason why, that means there's something we can do about it. So I truly believe that this year, make this the year that you find the underlying root cause as to what is ailing you. Let's work on it together. Let's get you well. Let's rebalance that body so that you can enjoy the life you were meant to live. Take care, everybody. I appreciate you. Tune in tomorrow for the first house call of the weekend, answering our community's questions. All right, take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to today's show. Before you run, just make sure you've checked out what is going on over at Equilife this week. We're offering 30% off all of our immune support nutritional supplements. These are the third-party tested, FDA facility, GMP certified nutritional supplements that so many people use from around the world because they work. So what we do is we formulate products from a functional medicine perspective based on the science at the dosages that we know will get you and your loved ones the results you're looking for. For our immune-based products, you're going to be able to find our vitamin C products, whether it's alkalizing vitamin C for those digestive issues, full spectrum vitamin C if you like vitamin C from whole food-based varieties. We've got zinc there. We've got our balanced zinc, which includes the perfect amount of zinc to copper so that it's also great for your mitochondria, for your thyroid, for your hair, your skin, your nails, all those great things. And we've also added other products this year, such as Hist Pro. That is a product I use every single day. And the reason I use it is that if you're anyone who has to deal with hives or histamine issues or allergies or asthma or mastocytosis, mast cell activation syndrome, et cetera, we are not giving any medical advice here, but it is a product that helps scientifically, it's shown in studies, to better regulate healthy levels of histamines. So this is a product that, again, that I use every single day. I take one at breakfast and I take one at dinner. As I need to during the springtime when there's all sorts of pollen in the air, I end up taking 2-3 times a day. But for the majority of the year, it's simply 2 easy capsules every day. I get vitamin C, I get quercetin, I get stinging nettles, I get bromelain, all sorts of great products, again, scientifically proven to do what they say they're meant to do. But check out all the products this week. They're 30% off. It's an amazing deal. You can get a subscription to save each and every month or save 30% one time if you choose to. You can find all of those at StephenCabral.com/shop this week while supplies last. Again, 30% off at StephenCabral.com/shop.